Hello everybody, I am the Linkzilla, and welcome back to Outlast 2. You know, I actually can't quite remember where we last left off. All of it's getting into a kind of blur, but I think we went through some cavern, we found a heretic temple, and now we're making our way towards the chapel of, what's this place called? This town or whatever, this gate. They call it Gate something or something Gate, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not really retaining much from this game, and it's a shame because I really am intrigued into where this story is going. The problem is that, like, very little of the game is actually endearing itself to actually commit itself to memory. And I think that the thing that's bothering me the most when comparing this game to its predecessor is, in Outlast, there were a lot of times where it just seemed like Miles was running from one area to the next, trying to avoid these guys. However, there would always come these big sections where Miles would have to perform a series of objectives and do so completely unnoticed by any of the bad guys roaming around. He'd have to do it completely stealthily if he wanted to survive in order to move on to the next area. Here, it just seems like you're in this wide open space, and the only objective you really have is finding Lynn. You don't really have, like, little objectives that tell you how you're supposed to be able to move on. Like, I didn't even realize that I was supposed to basically stay in the barn and get up in order to basically get out of this area until I basically, like, sat down and really looked at it. So you would think that the game would give you a prompt, giving you an objective, investigate, find a way through the barn, instead of just basically, like, having the guys coming in looking for you. The point that I'm trying to get at here is that everything feels too open. It feels like you're just running from one area into the next, and you're trying to avoid the guys that are here without really any objective purpose or goal. In fact, I didn't even realize that Miles was looking for a chapel before ending off the last section. So, anyways, let me get my phone. Let me put the timer on my phone. Let's go. Saying thus thou thee unto the Lord shall be turned, renew our days of old, but saying but thou...
That has to be the chapel.
Is that a battery? I was literally about to ask, what is a battery doing all the way out here? Ah. This guy's cheek is decomposing. At least I hope that's decomposition. How many bats do I got?
Somebody there will know where they've taken Lynn.
5. Get to the chapel. Even though I basically shouldn't have done it, I did look up some things about this game. Apparently, according to the lore of this game, the people here believe that their town is built on the mouth of hell, and that their town acts as a sort of gateway, basically like a border between our world and hell. So that's why they think that every single child born here is the Antichrist. So they think that they're doing good. They think that they're protecting the world from the devil, which, let's face it, it's probably, like, literally the one thing that you pretty much, like, are wasting your time protecting the world from. I didn't want to be able to come this way. I was going to keep following the river. Even their bags of sweet corn are marked with crucifixes and crosses and whatnot. Satanas inimicel del Cid. How come the cursor isn't there on that screen? March 9th. More children dead. Knott says there is no sin in such infanticide, as we are all soldiers in God's army. Martyrs fallen on the field in defiance of the arch-fiend. All those babies with slit throats and charred flesh will be waiting immaculate for us in paradise. You know, ever since 2006, in light of, like, the political field shifting, I basically sort of, like, moved away from how I was in the atheist community. I still consider myself an atheist, but I don't do what I used to do as an atheist anymore, which is actively going out and pointing out problems that I find in the entirety of the faith. So basically when I play a game like this, it's kind of hard to basically prevent those old habits from coming in, because, like, all the things I would really like to say. Papa Noth also says that our sins find us in our dreams. Our sins find us in our dreams. But my dreams are nothing but the murder of my children, and I wake up laughing and aroused and often wet with the involuntary lust of sleep. This woman is admitting that the nightmares about all those children being murdered are arousing her. I woke this morning thinking I was wetted with the blood of a child's slit throat, but it was wetness of my own making. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's actually not being lustful. Maybe she's just wetting the bed and doesn't realize it. The others are having similar dreams. We have dug a tunnel so that we may meet in secret. We gather and share our visions and wonder at their meaning. I feel increasingly this is a message, but nothing holy. So they think that something is encouraging this kind of
the chapel.
Deviancy.
Somebody there will know where they've taken Lynn.
Wonder if I can go up the stairs. Wonder if that'll be dangerous. Well, I was gonna go upstairs anyway, so... Man, a tight staircase like this is reminding me of that scene in Private Ryan. Yeah. Ironically, I doubt that they break that open as often as they should, because now they're just making it up as they go along. What the fuck was that? They're just leaving unfinished chickens lying all over. I'm guessing that this guy is Noth. Papa Noth. Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy who people would refer to as Papa. This door is jammed, so... More stairs. Man, I am in the thick of...
God himself killed his own child, nailed him to a tree, and hung him, suffering for days before he died. And when his only son said, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" he said,
Oh, great, we're bringing back this mechanic.
"I am that I am. I am that I am." We stand God in the midst of which the Antichrist will bring this world. We are at the cock of Armageddon.
This looks like it could be interesting. Sullivan, Papa, Ezekiel, liar, charlatan, temple to gout, addict, coward, rapist, child killer. I am gone, and I have taken with me all the courage to see the truth. This was written by Ethan, wasn't it? Come after us, hunt us down. We are waiting and eager to murder and fuck every body you send up the mountain. I don't hate you. Could Jesus hate the Baptist for being a Jew? I could not have found my true vision without your years of ignorance and bullshit. I could never have found the courage to seek the truth if not fueled by my anger at your lies. Your God is a child's superstition. Your faith is an embarrassment. The signs of the true Father were before you, before us all, and you, vainglorious, gullible, too stupid to draw breath. You thought the visions were punishment from an angry and ominous God. Vainglorious, huh? Never heard it put that quite way before. Your God is afraid because your God is no God at all. Your God is your own ego, vulnerable and false, and embarrassment. You remember what I was saying earlier about, like, my old habits and whatnot? Well, I can't deny that what this guy is saying is true on the meta level. My God is no God at all, but he is true, and he is here in every moment of ecstasy, and his child will fuck and tear this world to everlasting glory. Yes, I think that this guy isn't exactly quite as sane as I thought, so I do not ask that you join us. I tell you, you will join us, because our love is greater than you can ever imagine. Val. Val is the guy that they refer to in their scriptures as having betrayed, so, and spoilers, Val is that creepy androgynous thing that basically licked us and took Lynn. So, yeah. Creepy, androgynous looking, and very thin. So, basically, like, we're looking for him just as much. So, it's so incredible how basically, like, they wrote Val, and his words in a lot of ways were right, because in a lot of ways, your perception of God is built from your own ego, but then Val has to go and talk about, like, how the God that the heretics are worshipping, because I'm thinking that whatever it is that they're talking to is a bit more Lovecraftian in nature. I think that that thing is real, and it's here, and it's causing all this madness, but at the same time, well, it's like he says, it's no God at all. Hey, Yorick, what's up? Just hanging out on a desk? Yeah, I feel you, man. Looks like I'm not going up the river at all. Well, whoever that is, they are moving fast. Was that scripted? Was I supposed to see that? Well,
That might be an elevator. It's up there, isn't it?
Blake, could you do me a favor and shut up? Well, now that Ethan is dead, I should basically, like, be a lot wiser about how I move. If there's another person anywhere around, they're not friendly. This is probably gonna make noise.
The power's cut off. They've got to have a generator or something.
Unbelievable. Just as I
Thing doesn't
complain,
run on prayers.
just as I complain about it, it suddenly starts getting. This is what I was talking about. This is starting to feel like Outlast to me. The fact that you have a clearly defined goal that will help you reach your greater goal, I suppose, but you have to basically do a few more objectives than simply just running from people. That's Marta. Or maybe not.
Children of hell, but also the opportunity of our salvation.
Banjo. Bing, dick ding, dick ding, dick ding. Is the camera giving off a light? Because if it is, how have they not found him sooner? Well, considering that they're giving me places to hide down here, I have a feeling that if push comes to shove, they might expect to be chased down here or something. I'd really like to find another battery.
Rejoice. Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord. The sins of all day. There's wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous. I'm sorry, woman. From this Abba is a place of
He didn't see me?
You don't
the children of hell, but also
Papa not! You don't turn your back on God!
is great and not is
I have my mixed reservations about the whole microphone mechanic because, as you guys could clearly tell, back when I was at the house, she came in so fucking clearly, like, I honestly thought she was gonna be right outside the fucking door. That's why I hesitated to go outside the window to make sure that she wasn't going to suddenly come along to investigate. So, how the heck could she come in so clearly back there when she was so clearly up the road? I literally almost ran into her when I tried to get away from, like, that guy who was shouting. Speaking of which, why is nobody coming after me?
great and not is and not round power of the brain, not hid from the spirit. In the crimson glory.
Why are there so many dead bodies lying around? I mean, in the last game it made sense, but
Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord. The sins of thine are bound up, and all debts to God come due. There's wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous all. For we are in the sorrows of a travailing woman. From this arbor is a place of breaking forth of yes, the children of hell, but also the opportunity of our salvation. For God is great, and naught is his prophet, and naught will ransom us from the power of the grave. Naught will redeem us from death. For even redemption cannot be hid from the split eye. In the crimson glory of revelation. Rejoice. Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord. The sins of thine are bound up, and all debts to God come due. There's wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous all. For we are in sorrows of travailing. From this arbor, place of breaking forth of the children of hell, but also the opportunity of our salvation.
I have the horrible feeling that the game is glitched. Either it's glitched or she's just in a trance.
There's blood.
Well, I saw a guy go off that way. Should I wait for him to come back and kind of observe his pattern? Oh, too late. Here he comes. Them that hath ears. Achievement unlocked. He's looking this way. What the fuck?
She went before himself. The noise of the fury of the Lord comes upon me!
That was bullshit, game, and you know it. I was hidden.
That might be an elevator. It's up there, isn't it? Power's cut off. They've got to have a generator or something. The fucking thing doesn't run on prayers.
You can do that while walking, you know.
Rejoice. Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord. The sinners find bound up and all debts to God come due. Wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous all. For we are in the sorrows of His faith. In this arbor, place of great importance, children, but also
bandages.
Shall I tell thee?
Just kill me.
The Lord came upon him.
That might be an elevator. It's up there, isn't it?
The sins of thine are bound up and all debts to God come due. There's wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous all, for we are in the sorrows of a travail. This arbor is a place of breaking forth, yes, the children of hell, but also
It would be one thing if she wasn't just going in a loop over and over again. Think he's going to the outhouse? I think he's going to the outhouse.
You don't turn your back on Papa Knot! You don't turn your back on God! Bound up and all debts to God come due. Wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous all, for we are in the sorrows of a travailing woman. From this arbor is a place of breaking forth of yes, the children of hell, but also
Hey!
Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to disturb you while you were sleeping.
They shall be astonished at thee.
We took away 149. Our shibboleth was an age. Only the edge, God's knife.
None will redeem us from death.
God.
But even redemption cannot be hidden from the split eye. We are robed in the crimson glory of revelation. Rejoice. Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord.
God's knife.
The sins of Zion are bound up, and all debts to God come due. There's wailing. There's pain.
Well, I doubt that he's gone in there, so he must have gone back inside. Meaning that
Are in the sorrows of a travailing woman. And this arbor is a place of the breaking forth of
there's nothing in there for me.
hell, but also
You shut up.
to is our salvation. God is great, and Noth is his prophet, and Noth will ransom us from the power of the grave. Noth will redeem us from death. For even redemption cannot be hidden from the split eye. We are robed in the crimson glory of revelation. Rejoice. Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord. The sins of Zion are bound up, and all debts to God come due. Is great, and Noth is his prophet, and Noth will ransom us from the power of the grave. Noth will redeem us from death. For even redemption cannot be hidden. The sins of Zion bound up, and all debts
You know, I think that it's actually incredibly lucky that we get into this barrel filled with water, and there isn't enough water in the barrel already, so that when we displace it, it doesn't spill over the edge.
Surely, I will turn them to you.
This is getting quite irritating.
That might be an elevator. It's up there, isn't it?
Revel in the ecstasy of the war.
Son of a bitch!
Hell, God's got waiting on you, motherfucker.
I can't keep the generator on a higher level. Powered generator room? That makes no sense.
That's gotta be it. If I can find my way back to the elevator.
What you should be worried about is... Yep. Shit like that.
Rejoice. Revel in the ecstasy of the Lord. The sins of thine are bound up, and all debts to God come due. There's wailing, there's pain, there's blood, but it is joyous all, for we are in the sorrows of a profane life. And this arbor is a place of breaking forth for the children of hell, but also continually of our salvation. God is great, and not is his prophet, and not reign. Power reigns, not will be reign.
Unbelievable. She's all the way up there and I can still hear her.
This way is forgiven.
It's her.
He is fundament to his charms.
Hey, Marta. Was wondering when you'd show up.
be ravenous in my penance.
Well, I made it through that, finally. But my alarm went off, so we're just gonna do one last thing. Sundries from the Sinful World. How am I missing all this stuff? I'm literally recording everything. Simeon, I need to talk to you in deepest secret because of your knowledge of the... because of your knowing the unctures and such and medicines. Punctures. I hope you know I do not trade any more words less than strictly needful when we need to trip into the damned world for gasoline and electricals and other such necessities as we can't make. I've got something friendly with the publican boy who sells us the pills Papa needs, and when I mentioned to them as study aids, the boy laughed and said a body didn't need penicillin for studying unless a body was studying gash. Have y'all heard of such things? I do not want to ask Papa for fear of I do not know what, but I do not want to accidentally poison him either. Please come to see me, John. So, they occasionally need to go into civilization in order to get medicine and electricals and gasoline for the generator. So, they get penicillin. Penicillin is basically an antibiotic. It basically is helped to basically clean out bacteria from like wounds and such. But it seems to me like this kid's papa is abusing penicillin, which I don't even know how you could do that. He needs it for studying. So, is he taking the penicillin as a hallucinogen? Maybe it's not penicillin after all. Anyways. Well, this episode was a bit more interesting than the last ones, but like I said, it started to touch upon things that felt more like the original Outlast, but even then the execution was a little off in my mind because... with Outlast, you're in a bit more of a predictable scenario. Throughout most of the game, all you really need to worry about is Walker, and even then, as long as you know how to avoid him, he's not all that big a threat. Whenever you're in a situation when it comes down between Walker and some other patient, the other patient probably won't be hostile towards you because they're just as much afraid of Walker as you are, so... But in situations where you are dealing with other patients besides Walker, and there's even more than one hostile guy roaming around, you still have a lot more, I'd say, a chance of figuring out where to go and what to do. And I think that ultimately has to do with the fact that you're inside of a closed area, inside of a building, whereas here, you're outside. I mean, let's count how many people I had to keep track of in order to friggin' get through that. First, there was the woman who's just basically like preaching in the streets and whatnot. Then there's that guy in the hat who comes down the hill. That made me think maybe there's a secret way that I can get up the hill and get past the guy with the lantern. So already that's 3. The guys in the house, they don't bother me for some reason, but so I go up the hill, I sneak into the house, and there's a guy sleeping in the bed. I was looking for the bandages, and there he is just fucking sleeping in the bed. And I'm like, well, why the fuck is he here? So, that's already a total of 4 people to keep track of. Not to mention, there was another guy, as well as that was already up there with the searchlight. So, after I got killed that last time, I just said, fuck it, and I'm just gonna bypass all of this. I'm surprised that the woman in the street straight up stabbed me as she did. I don't know, this doesn't feel as creepy as Outlast did. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a bit unnerving and unsettling, and it has made me jump, but basically I haven't really been scared at all this episode, except for when Marta showed up, because honestly, I was expecting her to show up, and well, she did, and I got a pretty decent scare out of it. However, Marta isn't nearly presenting herself as nearly as much of an antagonist as Walker was, because by the end, like, basically by your third encounter with Walker, you get the sense that he is literally obsessed. He is gonna stop at nothing until he gets his hands on you and rips your head off. So, Miles literally says it at some point in the game, the fat fucker is stalking me. So I really feel like we should have seen more of Marta at this point, gotten a sense of her personality, and I think that's kind of like the most disappointing part of this, is the fact that I'm picking up like all these little documents and letters, getting like stories surrounding everybody else, but I haven't found anything on Marta yet, so I don't know. The game so far isn't bad, but I'm not saying that it's good, because after playing Outlast so many times, I could basically describe all of Mount Massive like the back of my hand. I could probably like build your entire pathway through the first Outlast game in Minecraft. That's how well I know it. But this game, I don't really see myself being able to memorize this game because of how open it is. So, I don't know, I guess I just wanted something a bit more closer to the original Outlast experience, but anyways, that is all the time that we have for this video. If you liked it, please leave a comment down in the comment section below and do all that good stuff. I'll talk to you guys later.